You are watching In Conversation This Week with Micheál O'Hurley.
This is Micheál O'Hurley. I'm reporting from the 2025 Antalya Diplomacy Forum. I'm joined today by a member of the Turkish Parliament, the ruling party. He's a leader with a portfolio for technology and communications. Ömer İleri, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Micheál, for having me. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Tell me, why is the Antalya Diplomacy Forum an important forum, from parliamentarian to diplomats?
Yeah.
Why is it critical?
Well, actually, this year, we are having the 4th edition of the forum, and the forum is already one of the major events, global events when it comes to diplomacy, as you could very easily tell, right? And it's the largest one in the, region, but it is one of the most notable ones already. So even though it is, I would say, a newly born organization, it is already a well-established one. I think we should sort of congratulate and offer appreciation to the Ministry of Foreign Relations of Turkey for their involvement in this event. So the theme of the event this year, as you know, is regaining or reclaiming diplomacy in a fragmented world. I think it's a very well fit theme, right? So going back a few years, we have seen major developments and crises when it comes to climate change, technological developments, epidemics, pandemics, and the wars, and the ongoing genocide in Gaza, right? So therefore, the main theme is to make sure and to maybe remind the world that the way forward is not through unilateral actions, but through consensus building, through communications on open platforms, and through diplomacy instead. So therefore, I find the event very, very valuable. Turkey, while emphasizing this fact, the need for diplomacy, also makes a case, as very well articulated in the speech given by His Excellency President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, yesterday, that Turkey takes the reference as the human values of wellness, kindness, tolerance, inclusiveness, and the like. So therefore, Turkey is trying to build a case on ensuring the effectiveness of diplomacy, but not just any kind of diplomacy that is based on mutual understanding and awareness.
You say that, and it reminds me of the Pax Romana, where the Romans dictated what peace was, what diplomacy was. Yeah. I noticed that the only real high-intensity conflicts that have been solved in the world lately have been solved with Turkey's intervention. Correct. What part does the parliament play in supporting the government in making those efforts?
Well, actually, you have very well put forward the fact that Turkey is a balancer, if you will, a negotiator and a driver towards peace. Obviously, the government is working putting in a lot of effort into this, but the parliamentary diplomacy also plays a large part, right? In Turkish Parliament, there are groups dedicated to establishing mutual relations with numerous countries around the globe. These groups, these committees, are very active and they are very hardworking. They come up with organizations and visits and brainstorming activities, if you will, when it comes to navigating through the treasury waters of international relations. So therefore, I would say that the parliamentary diplomatics plays a large role in establishing this role of Turkey.
Tell me, your role in communications and technology is critical in this age where AI might define the future, and yet there are people that won't directly benefit from AI. In fact, they may be harmed from it, but overall the trend is towards progress. Where is Turkey on the trend of technology, communications, AI? Where do you see Turkey going? What's the process? What does Turkey have to offer the world?
Well, actually, I think there are three main challenges when it comes to development of AI globally. One challenge is actually with regards to the concerns recently, the existential concerns, if you will, recently raised with regards to AI, whether it will be good or bad for the sake of humanity going forward, right? This is something to be that we need to work on together, right? On the other hand, there is again this concern you just raised with regards to how AI will impact the digital divide going forward, right? And lastly, there is again this concern with regards to how AI will be used. I mean, as opposed to how it will be developed, how it will be used in the end of the day. We keep hearing reports on how Israel, for instance, uses AI in their ongoing atrocities, right? So therefore, these three challenges, we think, requires the attention of the diplomatic circles. These three challenges require the attention globally of all participating nations. When it comes to this, global cooperation, we also see these competitive dynamics, right? Just like the competition between US and China with regards to chips, chip technology, infrastructure, data, so on and so forth. And the world still does not have a universal understanding of digital legal systems. The world, as we know of it, has not yet established a global regulatory system when it comes to AI. So therefore, to sum up, these three challenges needs to be cooperatively tackled in spite of the fact that the very nature of the environment itself is competitive. So we are talking about a competitive environment, if you will. So that's where diplomacy will step into the picture. Turkey has put in place its national plans for development and progressing AI technology, and while doing so, it has its own infrastructure set or domain to it, the data set, the engineering workforce set. But I think the most important part is to ensure that AI is developed in such a way so as to make sure that it does not end up to be yet another technological platform which will sort of humiliate people, use people, or make people fight with each other.